Good afternoon, everybody. This is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and I am going to change the title of my last video to Article 1, Part 1, because this is going to be Part 2, and there will definitely be a Part 3 to all this. It'll probably be a short Part 3, but there'll be a definite Part 3. Now, when it comes to the U.S. Constitution, the times and the places and the manner of choosing members of Congress shall be decided by the state legislatures. That means that you have your State House of Representatives and your State Senate. Okay, yes. In the state of Illinois, our government is run much the same as the United States government. Okay, we actually have a Illinois House of Representatives. We actually have an Illinois Senate. All right, and it's run basically the same way. Not all of it, but basically the same way as it is in the federal. Okay, so when we're talking about times, we're talking about, well, what time of day can these people vote? When we're talking about places, are you going to have the people come to a school building, or are you going to have them come to some sort of courthouse, or are you going to have them come to the fire department or to the police department or something like that to cast their votes, that kind of thing? That's what we're talking about there. And the manner. Some people want you to cast a paper ballot. Some places will have an electronic ballot. Okay, and what kind of paper ballot? Well, that can vary. You know, it could be a piece of papyrus if you want to do regular sheets of paper, that kind of thing. That was some of the things they were discussing when they did all this. Of course, nowadays you got your they may eventually let you vote with your iPod. Or not iPod, but iPad. Let's say you get an iPad, you can vote with, eventually you'll be able to vote with that. Wow. Okay. Now, Congress, United States Congress has to assemble at least once a year. Now, most of the time they assemble several times a year. Okay, but they have to assemble at least once. Now, the first assembly was supposed to always happen in December, but they changed that rule. I'm not sure when it's supposed to be now, but anyway. Okay, each house, and it says, I'm going to quote this word for word, it says, each house shall judge their members' elections, returns, and qualifications. I'll go ahead and focus on the qualifications. When somebody says they want to run for the House of Representatives or for the Senate, these congressmen will look at their qualifications to see if they are even capable of doing something like that, if they've had like a law degree or something like that, to see if they are of good moral character or whatnot. If they're not of good moral character, they're not obviously going to win a nomination. That's just not going to happen. Okay, and so the House can say, hey man, you're not running for office because you're just a creep. Okay, we're not going to have a formerly convicted felon running for our Congress. This is not going to happen. Okay, we're not going to have a thief running for Congress. It's not going to happen. All right. The House can punish its own members, and if they get a 2/3 majority, if 2/3 of Congress decides that some member is just flat out being a criminal, they can kick him out of office permanently. Boom, bye. Okay. Now, each house must keep a journal of the proceedings. Okay. However, when they're talking about sensitive issues, they don't put all that sensitive information in there because it could compromise federal security. Okay. You don't want federal agents being compromised because of what Congress is doing. You don't want our military being compromised because of what Congress is doing. So they keep that part secret. But they do create a journal, and it's published periodically. You can actually see it in your library. You can go in there and go to your library and look at all these congressional things and read them up, and you can find out what they've been doing, which is a good thing. You should. Okay. All right. Now, during a session of Congress, and we're talking about, let's say, the House of Representatives goes into session, or the Senate goes into session. Usually they go to the session about the same time, but sometimes the House of Representatives will be in session and the Senate will be off doing whatever they want to do. But when, let's say, the House of Representatives is in session, okay, they can't adjourn for more than 3 days without the approval of the Senate. And if the Senate goes and adjourns, they can't adjourn for more than 3 days without the approval of the House during a session. Okay. All right. Now, who pays the salaries of the House of Representatives and the senators? Well, that's the U.S. Treasury Department. Okay, so when the members of the House of Representatives or the members of the Senate go to get their paychecks, they have to get it from the U.S. Treasury. All right. Now, these wonderful congressmen are exempt from arrest, except for the following reasons. If a member of Congress commits treason, they can be arrested. If they commit a major felony, if they go murder somebody, or if they steal a whole bunch of car, they go into a major carjacking or something like that, they can still be arrested. But they can't be arrested for a minor offense. Let's say they discover a little pot in some congressman's car. He can't just be arrested for a little incident like that. If they found a lot of it, he could, but if they just find a little bag or something, they're not going to bust him on that. Now, they can turn him into Congress, and Congress can punish him, but they can't actually perform, the police department can't just automatically arrest him. It doesn't work that way. All right? But, believe me, because Congress can punish one of their own members, even if they don't go through the arrest, they still don't want to face up to the members of Congress. Remember, they're public servants, so they can actually be voted out of office. So, being exempt from arrest, yeah, they might get arrested for that, but they could lose their job the next time their term comes up. And let me tell you something, when it comes to the House of Representatives, they're voted every 2 years, remember that. So if they get caught in the middle of their term, that's not going to look too good on them. So, being exempt from arrest is not always a good thing, because they may face more severe consequences down the road. Now, they can also be arrested for breach of peace. I don't know what that would actually mean. Maybe they're becoming like those Occupy Wall Street protesters. If they start doing this major protesting in Congress, they could probably be arrested and taken to jail. But other than that, these congressmen cannot be arrested. All right, you're not going to simply issue a congressman a parking ticket. It's not going to happen. All right, but if a congressman is illegally parking, that is going to be made known to the general public. So you really don't want to do it anyway, because the general public's not going to approve of that. All right. Okay, no congressman shall be appointed to a civil office during his term. This would be like if the president decided to put somebody in his cabinet, he can't put one of his congressmen in there. Doesn't work that way. And if a person is a member of the president's cabinet during an election, he can't run for a office in Congress. All right, he can't run for a congressional office while he is a part of the president's cabinet. All right, or any other civil office for that matter. Okay. All right, now, if Congress needs revenue raised for the government to run, okay, if Congress needs revenue raised for the government to run, they have to have that bill started in the House of Representatives. The Senate cannot start a bill like that. House of Representatives starts the bill, then they send it over to the Senate. Now the Senate can amend that bill, but they cannot start it. All right, so when you hear about our national debt and raising our debt levels, that kind of thing, all that has to start in the House of Representatives, then it's sent to the Senate, and if they approve, then it's sent to the President. Okay? Now, if both houses of Congress approves of a bill, That bill is then sent to the President of the United States. Okay? And then what happens is that the President of the United States can either sign it or veto it. And that is where I'm going to stop the video right here, because I'm going to continue that part of the discussion in the next video. So that is not all there is. So just hang in there, and I will tell you more in the next video, so stay tuned.